Welcome. You're watching Rugby with Rifle, a podcast about all things rugby and life, with your host, Danny Pabone and Rifle Scudder.
Welcome to another episode of Rugby with Rifle, a podcast about all things rugby and life. As always, I'm joined here with my friend Rifle. Rifle, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well. Thank you, Danny. I'm looking forward to the weekend. So, very excited about the last games of this year's
Yes.
wonderful Six Nations. So, doing very well. Thank you.
Yes, it's going to be very, very exciting, and we'll get into that in just a moment. So, yeah, we're going to be speaking about week 4 of the Six Nations series. And what a weekend it was. And I remember Rifle just, and again, we'll talk about this, just talking about the France and Ireland game, thinking it was going, well, hoping, I should say, it was going to be close. But unfortunately for Ireland, France started kicking on all cylinders in the second half, and it was just Ireland couldn't match up with them in the second half. So yeah, so it wasn't
Yeah,
as
that
close as I hope
was,
it was going to be.
yeah, that's what I was saying in the beginning of the tournament is if you take the French team, they're really, really gelling well now. And what I said is a lot of them play for Toulouse. So their club rugby is a lot of the team that plays now. So they just a well-gelled team. And obviously the size of the pack that they have. I mean, their forwards are just brutal.
Hmm.
So they've got big, big, big players. They've been playing so well. So everything for them at this competition. Obviously, the game they had against England where they lost, it was just a bad game. They just played really, really poorly on that day. But it was a wonderful game from France and Ireland. A couple of really, really silly mistakes. Just absolutely. Maybe it's pressure that does that. Where you get to a stage where you go look at the game and some yellow cards that were given away.
Yeah.
It's just why on God's green earth would you do something like that if you know you're playing for the competition? Because it was, we said 2 or 3 weeks ago, this is Ireland's competition to throw away. It's theirs to lose. They were in the pound seats. They were sitting high and dry above everyone slowly but surely. And then France on the day, I mean, they were so good. Even with Dupont going off and, the whole world talking about that, was there malice in that? Did Porter maybe fall on his leg? And if you look at different angles, in any case, after everything, nothing came from it. No one is cited, but even them losing their top player, they were still just absolutely phenomenal on the day. And that second half was brutal. So, yeah,
Yeah.
now it's France's basically to throw away. They just got to beat Scotland, and then 99.9% the tournament is theirs. In different sports, and if you work it out, there's a mathematical chance that Ireland can come back. There's a mathematical chance that England can come back and they can win. But if France just take care of what they can take care of and beat Scotland on the day, it's done. So, but it was a great game, not as close as what we thought. But that's rugby. Sometimes on the day, like we've said, if your kicks all go over, which Ireland missed a couple of kicks, things don't go right for you. Those one or two mistakes, and as I say, the yellow cards that they gave away was just it was just bad for Ireland, unfortunately.
Yes. Yes, it was. And now that you just started talking about the France and Ireland game, let's just get right to it. So here we go, everyone. These are the three matches that occurred over the weekend. France, we started with France and Ireland, Scotland and Wales, England and Italy on Sunday. And obviously, these are the final scores. And just like we had mentioned, Ireland and France game at the half was 8-6 advantage France, and then from there it was just a actually Ireland scored first in the second half, and then
Yep.
France came a few minutes later, uh, scored a try. So at that point, I was like, okay, it's actually gonna be a game. But then
Yeah.
after that, it was just France really showing why they're one of the best in the world in international rugby. So as always, we're just gonna go game by game here, and we're just gonna first talking about, and you highlighted some of the themes when you were talking before, rifle. Yeah, and that one play where I believe it was McCarthy, if I'm not mistaken, the Irish player. Believe his name is McCarthy. Um, pulled the French player and tackled him by pulling him by the
Yeah,
jersey
just
and
running
throwing him to
behind
the
him by the
floor.
jersey, pulling him down. I mean, why? You got the ref right there. You got all the cameras on you.
Yes.
You got the touch judges there. You got the TMO. That's why I say, is it pressure? Is it Because I'm
Yeah.
sure he himself now. I'm guessing. I mean, this is just my opinion. He looks at the game afterwards and he thinks, why did I do that? What good can come from something like that? So whatever it was, it doesn't matter. But man, it's just why would you do that in such a pressure game? However, he did
Yes.
it. Yellow card. End of story. It's history.
Yes, my thoughts were the same. I actually didn't catch it live when it happened live, but then when they showed the replay, I was like, why?
Yeah.
I had the same thought, why?
My
And it's
question to
funny
you is, how
because,
did you miss that? I mean, he's running with the cameras right
yes,
on him, grabs him, just pulls him down.
I
I mean, the
think
guy, goes
well,
back and
I had, I think I had looked away for like a split second or a couple
yeah,
seconds from the game, and then when I turned my head back to watch the game, that's when I heard, the referee saying giving somebody a yellow card,
yeah,
and I was like, oh. And then when I watched the replay, uh, I was like, wow,
clear as
that's
day.
why,
Yeah.
yeah, it
It
was,
started it started bad for Ireland as well, and I saw that in the warm up. I saw James Lowe going down. They were warming up. He picked a guy up and then was lying on the ground. And I thought maybe he's warming up, he's doing that. And then I looked for him when they sing the national anthems and he wasn't there. And I thought maybe, I don't know, maybe he's getting his muscles rubbed or something. And then they said James Lowe out. So I don't think it would have made a difference to the score. I don't think that if he played, that Ireland would have won. But
mhm.
it's just, it's never nice when one of your top players is just not there. You've practiced, you've trained a lot of moves revolve around him. He's such an amazing, stalwart in their team, and then he's not there at all. So that was not good for them. So it just started off a bit bad for them as well. But as you say, up until half time, they were there. They came out half after half and they scored. And one thought, okay, yeah, and they at home, they're going to do it. This is it. And then, man, that 7-1 split definitely worked for France. I mean, their forwards were just dominating. As I say, now you got a forward from Ireland who pulls someone by the jersey. He's off for 10 minutes. Now another forward's got to work so much harder. You're 14 on the field. It just, man, it's not a good place to be. And France just coming and showing the calmness and cool heads that they had, just waiting for that position, building pressure. And something that was very noticeable by France is, I don't know if you picked this up, Danny, is when Ireland had the ball, they would commit one or two players to the tackle or to the breakdown, and the rest of their players would stand along the sides. They wouldn't
Yep.
commit 6 or 7 guys going. So what happens is if you just commit one or two and you can stop them, then you've got an extra 3 or 4 on defense. So Ireland now, even if they do get the ball back, there's a whole blue wall standing in front of them on defense. So that was very, very smart play by France there. So they were just, brilliant on the day. They were good. Pinot scoring, he's now uh, no, he's a tie with most scores for France, most tries scored. So one more try, and he'll be the highest try scorer for France, which I'm sure he'll do soon, if not even in the next game. But I mean, so that was going for them as well, and they were just brilliant all around. And I'm looking at this game thinking, me as a Springbok, we playing Ireland and France later this year. So, oh my goodness, we got both of these team on our schedule. So that's going to be an amazing two tests here that we're going to play against them. So there's a lot of good rugby to come this year.
Yep, it's going to be a tough task.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you brought that up with the France strategy of just using two men at the ruck. And I'm going to highlight a play here that you could actually see that. And and just like everyone sees here on the slide, I remember us talking about Ireland. Everybody was talking, oh, Ireland is going for the 3P. First time in Six Nations history that a team goes for a 3P. So, yes, or everybody was waiting for this. I even since the beginning of the tournament, I remember fans mentioning this game, Ireland and France, in the fourth week, because they knew it was going to be a clash of the Titans. But unfortunately, like we've said so many times before, when France is hitting on all cylinders, and but any team that hits on all cylinders, no, you could hit a team could hit on all cylinders, but still not be able to beat a team
Right.
because the other team is just has so much more experience
Just
and
too good. Yeah.
talent.
Yeah, for
When
sure.
France hits on all cylinders, they have the talent, and you just don't have a chance.
Talent and the depth. Yeah, most
Yes.
definitely.
So it's once again France. If it wasn't for that for that loss to England, that should have been a loss, and we've spoken about that game in the previous episode.
Yeah.
France would probably have been unbeaten, and nobody would have been able to catch up to them in points.
No,
And they
tournament would
probably
have
would
been
have
over by
won.
now.
Yeah, they would have won the competition already by now. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
So
we should see. So with this loss, Ireland falls down to third place,
third
and
place. Yeah,
now
they're
currently,
behind England.
yep. So we have France currently in first, England in second, and Ireland in third. So yeah, so it's gonna be like we said, an exciting uh, set of games this weekend. So that's gonna be
Yeah.
pretty cool to watch.
It's great. Yeah, it's wonderful.
So the second game of the weekend. Oh, I'm sorry. So two things I almost forgot. I wanted to highlight these plays. I almost forgot. I was about to skip that. So you had mentioned rifle. So this first play is really just a just fascinated. There's no, you know. Oh, just bring this over here. There we go. So I just wanted to highlight, and I'm just fascinated with the skill. I mean, this is for everybody. This is the 50-meter line right here of the field. So for all us American football fans, this is the 50-yard line, essentially. And just the boom, strength and skill to kick a ball this far. And he could have been another 5-10 meters back, and he would have made it. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to highlight that. It just amazes me the skill and the strength that you need to make a kick like that. It's just they make it look easy. So now this play is gonna highlight what Rifle was just speaking about a few minutes ago about the French defense, how they smother the opponents. and they're always ready, and it's very rare that they leave gaps in the defense. So in this play here, it's actually, I'm gonna start it a couple plays before, because I just wanna show everybody the amazing. I know you had spoken about this before, Rifle, is France. They're very meticulous. They play they play defense. They move the ball, but they're also waiting for the opponents to make a mistake. And the opponents make the mistake because France puts so much pressure on them. So France defense forces the opponent to make a mistake, and once they make that mistake, boom, they
It
strike.
counts on them, yeah.
So, and this series of plays just shows that. So I'm just gonna play it here. So we have Ireland with a line out. Tackle. Again, French defense. I'm gonna stop it right here. What you're talking about. So you see,
Yeah.
you just spoke about this. Look at that French defense.
Yeah. How many blue guys do you see on the ground there? None. Maybe one.
Look at that. They're just waiting to pounce. And this is Gibson Park, and he sees that defense, so he was like, I ain't gonna deal with this. So he decides to, what does he do? He sees the defense, he decides to kick the ball. Now here we see France. And this is the pressure right here. Boom. Now you think Ireland has the ball, but what happens is French defense, again, they're so physical. They're trying to form a ruck, and they are able to take the ball away. And this is where it begins. They
Yep.
took the ball, they spread the field. Now they're running. This is kicks the ball. This is just, and chases it down, scores the try. I mean, it's just amazing to watch, where you think, okay, Ireland, they're moving the ball, and then the French defense just pounces. Ireland commits a mistake by turning it over, and boom, there you go. French strikes and scores his try.
Top class.
So yeah, I mean, it's just it's just amazing to watch, and yeah, you just showed it there. What you just mentioned, the defense, it's just so it pounces, and it's always there. So yeah, just want to show what a wonderful play that was. So our second game was Scotland and Wales, and this game, Rifle, the first half, it looked like Scotland was gonna run away. Wales was gonna get, you know. When I saw 28-8, I was like, okay, Scotland probably score another 2, 3 tries. This game is probably gonna end like maybe 49 or 50 something to like maybe, 14. Wales scores another couple of penalty kicks. But then the second half happened. Actually, the last, and what I'll just mention this. I'm interested to hear your review of this game. But the last quarter of the game, Wales scores 3 tries, and then I'll get into that a little bit more. But yeah,
They came out, and they got, as you said there, they got the first penalty, and one hopes there. I mean, those first points on the board, that's a good psychological boost for any team, especially for Wales now. They need everything they can, but just couldn't get it going. And like you said, halftime, it was game over already, and people were thinking the score was going to be so big. But then once again, if you look at the game, I don't know if you saw, just silly mistakes. At one stage, the
Yeah.
prop was standing at the end of a ruck, and when Scotland got the ball and wanted to pass, he's standing on the wrong side of the ruck and just puts his foot out, knowing. And I'm thinking, just like Ireland, he's going to be looking at this game, thinking, what was I doing? What was I thinking? Why do I do that? But pressure makes you do silly things like that. So silly little things that Wales did that really, went against them was not good. But they kept on till the end. And how many times, Danny, have we seen in this Six Nations, maybe the last 15 minutes, a team giving up 3 tries to the other team? And here was exactly the same. Thought it was going to be a runaway, and all of a sudden Scotland takes their foot off the petrol. They don't play like they did in the beginning. Finn Russell is off, and they 1 try. Okay, it's no problem. 2 tries that come, and they kept on. So they were going for that bonus point, which they needed, which also will play into next week to see Italy, how many points Italy have, on the bonus point system. So, I mean, they got 2 points there with a score. So, but 3 tries in the end where Scotland kind of just, they knew they'd won the game and maybe just didn't give their all, or thought, one soft try is okay. And before you know it, they visited your try line 3 times. But once again, Wales just not good enough. Tried. The score looks better than what the game was because of the last 15 or 20 minutes when they came back. But just once again, silly mistakes every now and then from Wales, just doing stuff that you just don't do that in a rugby game. So, but good for Wales to stick in there. They always, I mean, they fight till the end, and they got those bonus points. They got those tries in the end. So it looks like a reasonable score. Scotland 35-29, even though this is their 16th on the trot that they've lost. There's a bit of hope for them still. So we'll see. But that's what I saw in this game.
Yeah, I agree, and it's interesting because that last try and the conversion kick, like you said, now with that, because remember everybody, in Six Nations in the point system, if you score 4 tries, that's 1 bonus point. If even if you lose, and if you lose less than 7 points, you get an extra bonus point. So a total of 2 bonus points. And what's interesting is Wales scored their 4th try and converted their 4th try in the 3rd minute of extra time, which means in the 80, I think it was like the 83rd minute. So with 80 minutes in, it was still 35-22. So I was thinking, okay, they're not gonna get any bonus points. And then sure enough, at the 3rd minute of extra time, they scored the last try.
Yeah, within
And
three
boom, they
minutes,
get the
gaining
two
two
bonus
bonus
points.
points. That's amazing. Yeah. So
So
good for
yeah,
them.
so good thing that the referee didn't blow the whistle at 80 minutes or 81 minutes. They wouldn't have those 2 bonus points.
Right. And they would have walked away with a wooden spoon almost inevitably.
Yeah, yep, most likely. But now they still have a chance
Yeah.
to not get the wooden spoon. So the two plays that I wanted to highlight here is so let me just focus this in here. So just wanted to highlight this. This is Scotland. Actually, Wales receives the ball. And this is a thing of beauty. I love these plays where it just happens so quickly. And you've seen it so many times with teams spreading the field. And what's the proper spreading the field, right? Is that how they term it in rugby rifle? Because I know
Spreading
that's
the
in
I
American
think
football,
it's
I'm using
yeah,
American football terms. So,
yeah. No, we don't. They spread the ball when they pass it quick to the other side. It's spread the ball. We
okay,
don't,
spread the
yeah,
ball. Okay,
yeah,
okay. In American football terms, they use spreading. I'm using American football terms,
yeah. We
spreading the
spread the
field.
ball.
So please forgive me, everybody. So it just happens so quickly where you think nothing's gonna happen from a play, and there you go. Once you get catch, I mean, yeah, that's just beautiful. Once you catch the defense sleeping for a split second, this is what happens.
Yep.
So I just want to show, just highlight that play, and then this play right here is involves a kick, perfectly placed kick here. So we have Wales here, rock, and here we go, kick, perfectly placed, run it down. There we go, nice try. So yeah, so I just love when I'm becoming a fan of tries being scored from kicks. It's a thing. It's a beautiful thing to watch when
Yeah.
it's executed perfectly.
Yeah. Kicking has become, back in the day when I played in the old olden days, if I can put it that much,
Yeah,
kicks weren't as prevalent as they are now. Even now, many times you'll see players using a kick as a pass. So
yeah,
many times when the fly half doesn't want to pass down the centers and get the ball to the wing, he just kicks it to the wing. So the ball travels much faster than the players, obviously. So many times you see guys are just brilliant with that. Marnie Libok is good. Finn Russell's done it a couple of times in this competition as well. And where the fly off, not necessarily just the fly off, but where a kick is used instead of a pass, and it works very well. So these little grubber kicks or the box kick that he put over there, they very dangerous if you can put them in the right place. So they become a dangerous weapon in your arsenal.
and it helps when you have players that are really quick, fast.
Yeah,
Yeah, to chase it down, and it's like any other sport. When you play in a team sport, you have to find that chemistry. You have to know your teammates, what their strengths are, and play to that strength. So yeah, it's pretty cool to watch those kicks fall perfectly and have somebody come behind and chase it down and score. Pretty cool to watch. Okay, so the third and final game of the weekend, England and Italy. And again, this is another game that was close at halftime. And then this England just showed their, experience and power in the second half. And in this game, we had a injury as well to Ollie Lawrence at the 8th minute. Um, I, I was watching. I don't know. I mean, it was uh, not self-inflicted because he didn't mean to do it to himself, but the term escapes me right now. But it was a non-contact sport. I mean, non-contact injury.
injury.
Uh, yeah, so he just started. He started running and then just fell down. So yeah, it was very unfortunate. But Marcus Smith is a pretty good backup to have.
Yeah, definitely. Marcus Smith is their best playmaker in the back, and people are really, watching him and putting a lot of hopes of England on him. So good guy to come on. But those injuries sometimes are the worst because you run and you pull something, or no one's around you, and when you go down, then this is serious because no one touched him, he didn't get tackled or fell wrong. It was just those things happen. So Very, very early, they lost key play in their midfield. But as you say, Marcus Smith, a good replacement to have. And Italy also, like you said, just keeping it pretty close. But many, many times, maybe to halftime or a couple of minutes after halftime, both teams can keep the game close. But in the end, it's the bigger, stronger team with more experience, that have played in more competitions, that have the knowledge. Cool heads prevail. And just wait, and knowing, like you said, France as well, just waiting for the enemy just to make a mistake. So you play your game, you put all your pressure on, and just know that some or other time cracks are going to come through. And that's what we saw. Even though one or two tries from Italy, absolute brilliance. I mean, their backline, those guys are quick. They're not big compared to other backline players of the other teams, but man, are they fast. And just lightning bolts when they get the ball and they see a gap. One of the tries, just like we saw France, no, it was Wales. Who did Wales play? England, where Gibson Jones saw the two prop. He saw the prop and he saw the big other loose forward. And he went in the middle because he's too fast for these two forwards. And as well, at one stage, Italy backline got the ball running, seeing two forwards in front of him and just split right in between them and went and scored. So some brilliance there from Italy, but you need more than one or two blitzes of brilliance when you play a side like England, unfortunately for Italy. So once again, a 47 in the scoreline, and at the end of the day, England just too good, just too big, just too strong, and they've still got a sniff at the cup after this game. And next week, there's everything to play for, because, as I say, with a mathematical chance, depending on what happens in the other two games, England do have a mathematical chance to win the Six Nations. I don't think it will happen, but mathematically on paper, it's a possibility.
and and it's like you said, that teams, top tier teams, or tier one teams, uh, you know, they they could, on any given day, you could pull out a win. Um, and we saw it with the England France game, where it came, it was a 1 point game, the final, and France probably played their worst game in who knows how many game international matches. So all it takes is for a good team to just have a really bad day, and you're like, wow. So
Yeah,
yeah, so it's very interesting that England, like you say, still mathematically still has a chance,
yeah.
uh, to
Obviously,
to
you
to pull
you
out a.
you didn't watch last year's, because this is the first one you watched. But when Italy
Mhm.
played against France last year, Italy lost the game by missing a kick in the end. They should have won. Italy should have beaten
Mhm.
France, but they missed the kick, and France won. So I mean, if you look at this year, how Italy got hammered by France last year, they should have won on the day, but they missed not a very difficult kick, but they missed the kick in the end, and whistle blew. So as you say, on the day, any team in this competition can beat anyone, but uh, most of the time, it's the teams that are more experienced and bigger that just wait for their chances, wait for the opponent to tire, and have those cracks happen in their defense, and then take advantage of that. But well done to Italy. Two or three absolutely magnificent tries in this game.
Yes, and we're gonna highlight one of those tries here, and I believe the play I'm gonna highlight for Italy was the play you were referring to just a few
Okay.
moments ago. I believe so. So just to set this up here, it amazes me the speed of, and forgive me if I pronounce his name wrong, 15 on Italy, Capanuzzo or Capa. They mentioned it quite a few times on Saturday, and it's Kappa something. Kappa something. That's I know. And he's the one that scores the try in this particular play, and the speed, wow, that this kid has. And this is the kid I was preparing for this episode. I remember mentioning, Rifle, that this kid looks like he's 12 years old. He looks so
Yeah, he
young.
looks so young. Yeah.
So let's just highlight this play here. So here we go. We have the line out and a kick. So now we're setting up from the ruck. And boom. Oh, actually, this is not the play, but it was still a beautiful play.
Mm.
I mean, uh, like you say here, this is where he puts his afterburners on, because he sees that there's nobody, there's a gap there, there's going to be nobody in front of him. Kick, boom, puts the afterburners on, and there it goes in for the try. And you can see here, oh, sorry. Well, you can't see, but yes, this is the player that I say looks like he's 12 years old. Looks so young, but Capinozo, I think his name is
Mm.
Capinozo. Well, whatever it is, 15 identity. He was really, uh, if they had a match player of the match for the losing team, 15 probably definitely would have been that player for this game, because he was just all over the place and um, didn't give up. He was unto the end. He was really uh, playing hard. So yeah, that was amazing to watch. And the second play of this is England. Just to set up this play here, I don't know if you ever heard of the Globetrotters, the basketball team Globetrotters. Okay, so
Yes.
you've heard of them. So
Yes.
for those of you who watching this episode don't know, if you don't know who the Globetrotters are, they're just a traveling basketball team that puts on shows, and they're very, very skilled players, and they do things with the ball that you wouldn't see in a regular basketball game, but still you still need a lot of skills in the game to just to pull off these plays that they do. So this play by England kind of sort of reminds me of the Harlem Globetrotters, and everybody's gonna see why I say that. So this is England here again, starting from the rock. So we have here. Oh, I'm sorry. First they kick the ball away. So now again, continue to tackle. And now here, the ball was taken away from Italy at this point. So now this is where reminds me of the Globetrotters here. So we have pass here back, pass here,
4 or 5 passes there within 3 meters.
yes. And then as soon as you think you tackle the English player, boom, pass. And then that last pass was just, it was great. Let me just play that again. So yeah, it was like pass, tackle you. Nope. Did a 360, scores the try.
And I
So
have to
yeah,
give
it,
credit
it
here.
was just
All
amazing.
those passes except the last one were forwards. So,
Oh
people
yes.
talk about back line being those were all forwards. I mean, you got George there in the end. It started off with Itoje passing. I think it's Curry that got it, then passes it off to
Oh,
George
actually,
and ending with a wing. But the first 4 passes, they were all forwards,
oh,
short little hand passes, which is amazing. It's great. The skill that these guys have is wonderful.
yes, yes, it is. Oh, so when I saw, uh, yeah, that's right. Because when you see passes like that, you usually think about um usually think about the backs doing that. But yeah, it was a beautiful thing to watch. Like you say, watch forwards do that, and it's
Yeah.
just I can't imagine the Italian players like, okay, tackle them. No, pass the ball. Okay, tackle. No, he passed it. Crap. You think you have the player tackle, the next thing you look up and he passed the ball, you're like, ah.
Mm.
So yeah, I just wanted to highlight. I just found that to be an amazing score. And the first thing, like I said, that came to my mind was, the Harlem Globetrotters making those crazy passes and scoring. So yeah, it's pretty cool to watch. So just to finish off this episode, so these are the six nations point standings as it stands right now. As you can see, France with 16, England with 15, Ireland with 14, and then Scotland 11, Italy 4, and Wales 3. So yeah, like we've mentioned a few times already, it's going to be a very exciting. And then on the right there, you see the schedule. So we have Ireland against Italy, um, Scotland, France and Scotland, and Wales and England. So on paper, uh, England has the easiest task against Wales. Now, saying that, Wales is going to come out and give it their all. So even though on paper England has the easier task on Wales, and you've been following rugby for such a long time, Rifle, is when a team has nothing to lose, that's when they usually play their best game. So
And they're playing at home as well.
yes, so England better
Wales
be
are
on their
playing at
toes and
home.
not. So England better be on their toes, and I think this is going to be an easy game because you're going to get the best from Wales.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, Ireland, Italy, and France and Scotland, those two games are going to determine who takes the Six Nations series this year. So it's going to
Yeah,
be
I
very
can't
exciting
I
to
can't
watch.
see Scotland beating France on the day. So that's all
Yeah,
France have to do is forget about all the numbers and all the possibilities. Just take care of what they can take care of and win on the day. And
hmm
if they win, it's all there. So I think
yes.
that's how it will turn out. That's what I thought in the beginning. So France just really, really powerful. And
And,
I
and
think they'll be too strong for Scotland.
yes, yes. And it's if by um that should be interesting because if let's say France and Scotland draws, uh you know and then if by some crazy scenario England and France somehow finishes the tournament with the same points in point system, not matches. The point differential from France is, I mean, they're gonna, you know, I mean, look at that point differential. It's insane.
Right. They
It's
picked up so many points against Italy that it will be
yeah,
difficult to score more in a game to make up for the points that
yes,
France lead by, which would be very, very difficult to catch.
yes. So that's another thing that gives France an advantage, the point differential, where by somehow some scenario, England and France, or if Ireland and France, uh, somehow, uh, you know, come up with the same points. Uh, Again, like you say, you're gonna have to score 100, well, like 90, 100 points in the 100 points, 100 to
Yeah.
0, just to beat
And then all the
France's
other
point
teams have got to
differential.
do what they need to do for you to win as
Yeah.
well. So it's not just even if you score 110, you have to hope the other two games fall into what you need them
Yep.
to do. So, that's why we say it's mathematical, but very slim chance.
Yes. So yeah, it's still mathematically it's still anybody's tournament between Ireland, England, and France. But
Yep.
France is sitting pretty at the top, and barring any miracle, barring a miracle, I should say, I think France is gonna come out on top this year. But we'll see, we'll see.
Yeah. Going to be good.
So with that, everyone, that is the recap for week 4 of the Six Nations 2025 Six Nations series. And this weekend, from the time of this recording, it's going to be week 5, and it's going to be a very, very exciting one, Rifle.
Looking forward
So
to it
yeah,
for sure.
yes, I am too.
You know where you'll
Uh,
find me Saturday morning.
yes, Rifle is going to shut off his phone and and you know, we'll probably be messaging each other throughout the game. But yes, yeah, I'm gonna be the same thing. I think it's gonna be another edge. And the other, like we've spoken about, not only is this weekend obviously is gonna determine who wins the Six Nations, but you also have the scenario between Italy and Wales, who's not going to get the wooden spoon.
Right.
So that's another scenario that's going to be interesting to watch. So,
Very.
yeah. So, with that, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this episode. My friend Rifle, as always, thank you, sir.
Very welcome. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah, everybody. And until next time, take care.
Cheers, everyone.
Thank you for watching this episode of Rugby with Rifle. Remember to press the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet to support this podcast.